Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In this video we're going to take a look at this Timex Whitney Village. Timex has been releasing or cashing in a lot in their Q model. I think there are several new colorways. They started off as a quartz version and then they have automatic versions, and now I believe they do have like a lot of like Snoopy and a lot of like collaborations, for example with Hodinkee and even Todd Snyder. But the watch that we are going to take a look today is not something that I would say from the current lineup, but I would say it's from one of their older, or I dare say even discontinued model, but it's not as old as it being a classic or a vintage watch. As you can see, it's still a quartz watch, but this is definitely from the older lineup. So this watch here, it's modeled after the sporty style worn by Ivy League student, as I read on their website. So let's start off with some dimensions of the watch. The watch has a case diameter of 35 millimeters, excluding the crown. It has a thickness of 11.3 millimeters and a lug-to-lug distance of a short 41 millimeters. It has an 18 millimeters lug width. The case has some kind of, I would say, a galvanized finish to it, because there is definitely, it looks like a vintage watch because there are a lot of like minor hairline scratches, but it's not like it's been used for a very long time. I think it's some kind of a treatment or brushing that Timex did to make the watch looks a little more vintage. I think it's the same finishing that I see on my Timex Navy Harbor. Well, I did a video on the Timex Navy Harbor a long time ago, so I'll put a link somewhere in the video if you're interested to check that video out. So at the top, protecting the dial, it's a mineral glass. It's a dome mineral glass, but I'm guessing it's a mineral glass, but it could be wrong because I cannot find any information if it's an acrylic or a mineral glass. So I'm guessing it's mineral, but it could be acrylic. So yeah, just take it with a grain of salt. The watch has a water resistance of 50 meters and it comes with just a regular push-pull crown that is unsigned. Well, one thing that bugs me a little is that Timex does not specify the movement used in this watch. My guess is that it could be some generic Chinese-made quartz movement. Well, for the price, I wouldn't really fault them because I managed to grab this for a good price. But the only problem that I have is that the watch is a loud ticker. I'm not sure if you can hear the ticking, but yeah, it's quite loud. So I'm not sure if it's going through the video, but believe me, it's really a loud ticker. So let's talk a little bit about the face of the watch here. This piece has a white dial with all the hour markers applied, with the even hours being numerals and odd hours being triangle. The minute markers are printed in black, and so does the Timex branding as well as the water resistant marking. All the markers and hands have a satin finish. On the overall, the dial looks very clean and I would say classy. And the small case sure gives it a vintage look, apart from the ticking hand that gives it a way of not being a vintage watch. And the watch comes, I'm not sure why, but it comes with a leather Zulu strap. Yeah, it looks as though it is like a small dressy watch, but somehow it comes with a Zulu style leather strap. And the hardware, I would say they have the same finishing as the watch case. You can see like it's more like a beat up condition to give it a more vintage look. And the strap is just a 2-layer NATO strap. The leather is, I would say, it's quite good. I think it's on par with what I got from my Timex Navy Harbor. And I do believe that if you put this watch on, like say a vintage style leather, it will pass as a vintage watch from afar, and somebody would just glance it, they would thought that, you know, you are wearing a vintage watch. So with that said, let's try to do a reshot here. Alright, this is how the watch sit on my 6-inch wrist here. So I do have to show you again that even though it's a double pass Zulu or NATO strap, I can wear it with only a single piece of material in between the watch case and my wrist. So I like to wear NATO straps or Zulu straps this way because it makes the watch sit closer to my wrist, because I have a small wrist and I do not like the feeling of a watch that is too far away from my wrist, giving me those overhang kind of feel, if you know what I mean. Yep, so the short lug to lug and the small case diameter does makes it sits quite well on my small wrist, and I do think that it will work good on bigger wrists as well, because the design of the lugs, it has sort of like a pronounced elongated design to it, but it's not really putting a lot of lug to lug distance on the watch. So visually it will look bigger than the dimension is stating, but you know, physically it's not too big for a small wrist. Alright, there you have it. All in all, I think this is a value for money piece with a nostalgic feel. Well, Timex has been around since 1854, and this piece sure brings out some of those old school feel. In my opinion, this piece and the Navy Harbor makes a good duo as travel watches. If you are someone who doesn't feel comfortable traveling with luxury watches or higher price watches, or if you're like me who wants to travel with light and no hassle watches, I really think these quartz pieces make a perfect pair. The Timex Navy Harbor with its 12 hours bezel allow for tracking 2 time zone, and the 100-meter water resistance is good for basic water activities. This Whitney Village will make up for like an evening watch, something a little dressier for that nice evening dinner. And the best part is that they are quartz and there is no worries of winding them up after a long flight. Alright, that's it for this video. If you're new to my channel, please help by subscribing to my channel. It does help me a lot, and you can also follow me on Instagram on GFW_watch for more watch pictures. Till then, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.